What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a little tips and tricks video for you. So basically I wanted to start this off by saying a big tip that I did and took into account for it was that there are very easy tracks on this game that come with it. I've seen a couple comments, I can't stand up in this game, I can't get going. So my biggest tip, make sure you have these bikes, which, obviously most of you probably do. It's the new bikes that they come out with all the time. What you're going to want to do is you can either go to testing or race. I go to race just because it gets you with people. First thing you're going to do, type correctly, do that. Search for any server with club. This is by far the easiest track on the game. If you don't like club, I recommend Forest as well. Another super, super easy track in the game. And you're going to want to jump in there. Let's see, yeah, this pit lane's full, so I'm just going to jump over to a test server. I recommend you guys to go into the multiplayer servers, but I'll go jump into that, and I'll see you in a second. Alright, so now we're on the track here. I'll bring this up just so you guys can see. You shouldn't have anything different. The standard suspension that comes with the bikes is actually really good. So I'm actually not too sure why some of you would be struggling to even stand up. Maybe it could be something to do with your playing with keyboard. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't recommend playing this game with keyboard. I would definitely recommend getting a controller that you're comfortable with and learning how to do that, because my experience, I came from MX Simulator. Playing that game with keyboard was a fucking nightmare, and I actually knew a couple guys who were fast on keyboard, and they spent many hours in that game learning how to perfect keyboard, and it's just not something I recommend. So here's all the front and rear suspension and everything. If you guys want to take a look at that, make sure that yours looks good. All this. Another thing, before I jump into a race, if I remember, I actually have a setup saved here. Yeah, it's just this guy. I will change my fuel down, and that's just because it makes the bike lighter. I've heard this a couple times. I don't even know if it's actually true. I just do it just to be safe. You don't need 7 liters in the bike, so that's a tip I can give you there. Let's come back over here. See if there's anything in this. You guys can take... This is my advanced here. If you guys want to take this down as well, it's another thing like Sim. It's really personal to yourself. A lot of guys like to take these and think that they're live or die by this. This is really something you have to sit down, work out what you feel is comfortable with it. Like, I mean, even just taking the smoothness off, like it's a whole change in how the bike feels. These are also my settings over here. I use one stick. A lot of guys play this game with 2 sticks. It's just what I'm used to because, like I said, I came from Sim. I used one stick on that all the time. As you guys can see on my controller over here, all my lean, everything is with one stick. That's just how I'm comfortable with it. And that's a big thing with these games. It's just all in what you're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be what's the fastest guy doing or how it works for him. It's what makes you faster. So yeah, what I mostly like to do, come on here, run, even before if I jump into a server, like if I did how I just had there, if I don't find a server with club that I can jump onto, you jump on the testing, get some laps in, get some practice in. It's much better to go in with a little bit of warm up than to just go in cold and it's the first time you jumped on the game today and you could be a bit rusty, or you haven't played in a couple days so you're feeling really rusty. I've been playing this game a lot for the past couple of days, making a lot of videos on it, so I'm not like, super rusty or anything in it. But if I were to jump on the Sim right now, oh man, that would be a absolute nightmare. I probably wouldn't even be able to stand up through a few corners. So that's another thing with this game. You definitely want to keep some repetition. Don't put the game down unless you're absolutely frustrated with it and you're just burning yourself out with it. I don't recommend putting the game down for a week at a time. You could definitely forget a lot of the tricks and shit that you do, because a lot of this is muscle memory. Sim was that way more hardcore than this. You just had to remember how the bike went, how it felt, how to be fast, how to hit the corners correctly, as I fuck up right there. But another big mechanic that I can go over with here, as you see my leg lean in that corner there, something that I didn't discover in this game that was very important. Actually, I did the same thing with Sim, but leaning in the corners while sitting, I will go to an external view just to show you guys this, but it's extremely important to see that rider like that right there, sitting down on the seat, getting his leg out, really hitting that corner, because when they stand up, they don't hit the corners correctly. It's something so minuscule that you guys should pay attention to, and get that going. Mine is my X, as you can see over on my controller over there. That's usually what I keep it to. I think it's the same exact thing on Sim, but very important to do. Should definitely not be overlooked. One last thing I'll talk over here with, you guys can definitely, you know, if this gets some traction and there's a lot of people commenting, comment what you want me to talk about and if there's anything that I struggled with. But another thing in this game that I personally hated in Sim, the first person cam in Sim is, in my opinion, an absolute atrocious. There's a lot of guys who run it and are very fast with it. I never liked it. I ran third person. I'm the complete opposite in this game. I cannot run third person to save my life. And this view is horrible. The static on board, it's just, I think this is the chest cam. I'm not a fan of this. I like the dynamic. I think this is the helmet cam, or you know, whatever they go off of. This just feels far more natural to me. I got way more control with the bike. I know what's going on. I know what's going to happen next. So get your comfortable view. I'm not telling you guys that this is, you know, like the end-all be-all view in this game, but it's definitely way better than the other two in my opinion. If you're better on the external view, keep with it. Keep going at it. Keep getting better at that view. Don't switch it all up, you know. I mean, unless you're comfortable with something else. But for me personally, I am way more comfortable in the dynamic onboard view. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Just to give you a little tip too, I only have 70 hours on this game on Steam. This is only 70 hours, you know, I'm not like this super experienced rider on this game, maybe because I have a lot of Sim experience. I mean, Jesus, I don't even know how many hours I have in Sim, but it's probably an ungodly amount, maybe easiest, like the most hours I have in a game. Like I have probably close to 2,000 hours in Team Fortress 2, and I know I have more hours in Sim. So I probably have close to 3,000–4,000 hours in Sim, and I still never amounted to anything in that game. Never was that great, never had the speed, never was in pro events, nothing like that. But this game I feel pretty comfortable in with only 70 hours, so that's saying something. This is probably the superior game in my opinion, just in terms of physics and how the bike feels. This feels way more true to life than Sim, in my opinion. Again, this is all opinions, you know. You guys don't have to come on here and fucking attack me if Sim is your favorite thing in the entire world and you live and die by it, but I prefer this game now that I have discovered it and discovered how much better it is. So, like I said, if you guys have anything to put in the comments that you want me to go over in a future video, you know, if you guys have any questions or concerns on how I'm doing some things that I'm doing or why you're struggling with doing it, you know, I can maybe even go into tutorial series on how to hit whoops correctly and stuff like that. But hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the